Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if you are Sean Diddy Combs, more and more information is coming out. If you guys don't know, the trial was delayed. The defense is doing a legal finesse, and I'm really hoping the judge actually wakes up and realizes this is not an episode of Law and Order and starts seeing their finesse. But more importantly, the prosecution got what they want, and they are entering into a weekend of a negative tailspin meant to get all of Diddy's lackeys, all of Diddy's sympathizers, and strategically link information that can literally make you lose faith in any of the jurors. What's the new thing they leaked? That there's a victim number 5. But guess what? The judge actually said something crazy about victim number 5. That is not good for the prosecution. Y'all, let's get into this because what is going on? Now, Liddy, listen. The Diddy trial, this is directly from TMZ. TMZ, if you guys don't know, seems to be like Diddy's unofficial media arm. I don't care how much they try to act like him and Mark Garagos aren't close. Boy, shut up. Anyway, they said the Diddy trial, prosecutors reveal victim 5. They might testify. A list of alleged Diddy victims involved in this sex trafficking trial is expanding because we've learned the feds also have a witness they're calling victim 5. Now, prosecutors buried the existence of the alleged 5th victim in legal documents last month. But victim 5 just came up in court Friday as Diddy trial proceeds. Now, let me say one thing, right? They didn't bury it. We actually made a video about victim 5. It wasn't buried. However, TMZ never once, in my opinion, to give the full scope of what's going on with Diddy. They tried to make it seem like Cassie was the only victim and that they were swingers when you had access to the same legal papers we all did. But that's just me. Now get this. TMZ goes on to say, now the person's identity is still unknown, but that could soon change. Are y'all ready for this? And again, I don't know what Judge Aaron is doing. Listen, he's a good judge. He's not corrupt. However, he is pretty green. He went from clerking for Justice Ginsburg, to being a federal judge. He knows legal doctrine. He knows legal canon. Does he know the dirty tricks and legal finesse that you pay these $1 million defense attorneys for? And listen, shout out to the defense attorney. Y'all really do the Lord's work, especially for people that can't afford $1 million. My point of the matter is, does he know the legal finesse? Anyway, listen to what they say. Because Judge Aaron ruled Friday that victim number 5 will not be granted an anonymity during the trial. I repeat, he ruled that victim 5 will not be granted anonymity. According to the legal documents obtained by TMZ, the feds appeared to be introducing this potential witness as evidence Diddy committed an act of sexual misconduct in the past, which he's not being charged for in this criminal case. Diddy's legal team tried to keep this alleged victim story out of the trial, but Judge Subramanian is allowing some of the testimony. And that seems to be Judge Subramanian. It looks like he said, you know what, I'm going to split both of this down the middle. Y'all don't want the testimony in, we'll keep it in. You guys want victim 5 to be anonymous? We're not keeping them anonymous. However, it leads me to believe that victim 5 is a public figure that has spoken in the past about Diddy and their situations in Diddy. It leads to me, is Aubrey victim number 5? Is Gina Hahn victim number 5? Is Capricorn Clark victim number 5? We'll talk about that later, all right? Is the one Asian girl, I don't know, victim number 5. There were so many women that Diddy had in the cut, so many people that got sucked into his madness. Do you see what I'm saying? Anyway, right? So Diddy's team tried to keep this out. The judge said we'll keep it in, but they won't remain anonymous. And they're allowing some of the testimony. As for the other 4 alleged victims, Cassie has long been established as victim 1. That's no surprise. There are concerns victim 3 may not even show up in court to testify despite a subpoena. Whoever victim number 3 is, and it is rumored to be Gina Hahn, but nobody actually knows who it is, right? I will say this. If you think the feds are going to literally let you play in their face off of subpoenas and whether or not you can talk in this and that, you have another thing coming. At the end of the day, yeah, the day going to end. And it's probably going to end up with U.S. Marshals dragging you in. And there better not be proof that Diddy in any way, shape, or form influenced your decision. Anyway, in court filings, prosecutors have said victim 2 is expected to deliver anonymous testimony about financial losses, dependency, and social isolation she experienced during the relationship, all of which made her more vulnerable to his coercion. The feds also say they have a fourth alleged victim, a former Diddy employee who was allegedly coerced into sexual acts. Who is that fourth victim? Honestly, it could be the chef that actually said that. Well, we don't know if the chef got coerced into sexual acts, but she was forced to serve him during freak offs. And you know, Diddy is crazy. It could be any of his ex-assistants. I do want to say this. The one thing that really warms my heart is the fact that Diddy's acting like this is all the prosecution has. It looks like KK probably flipped on Diddy, and KK knows everything. It looks like Brandon probably flipped on Diddy. That's Diddy's ex-alleged mule. It looks like a lot of people might have flipped on Diddy. But one thing that we need to keep in mind is there is way more evidence that the judge saw that Diddy saw, because he got his enterprise letter with his co-conspirators, with all the charges, with all the victims, and with everything. He got that like a few weeks ago. Diddy is trying to play stupid like, oh, it's new to me. But he did actually get all that. So where does that lead us? Now TMZ is trying to act like, oh my God, there's a fifth victim. Baby, we reported on this weeks ago that there was a month ago, that there was a fifth victim. One thing though, because the enterprise letter was secret and it's confidential and there's a gag order, there's a chance that there is 7, 8, 9, 10 victims out there. There's a chance that there is a lot of victims out there, okay? Also, keep in mind, the Diddy trolls are out. Now, if you think that Diddy's not gonna go out without a fight, I have another thing. I have a bridge to sell you in Wyoming, okay? I will say this, that when it comes to Diddy actually keeping things quiet, I just wanna say this. How can I say this without? I believe that Diddy is going to orchestrate a Blake Lively, whatever the guy, Justin Baldini blitz, where he gets all of his lackeys, all of his trolls, all those people willing to do anything for a penny of an ounce of gold. He's going to utilize the network that made him intimidate people. But I also think that he's been waiting, because his money is limited, to start a full-on blitzkrieg on social media of random comments saying crazy things. Oh, I agree with Diddy, this and that. They're going to be paying influencers to be like, wait a second, this could go either way. Maybe Diddy's innocent. They are going to use that 50 million to buy Diddy's freedom. At this point, with the lawyers, it's probably 30 million, but it's still a lot. Instead of paying off victims, he is literally going to use that money to buy social media. Case in point, the first comment under this TMZ article. The prosecution is trying very, very hard to craft a narrative and not let it be questioned, not have to identify anyone. Seems like smoke and mirrors that is bound to fall apart. If this fifth victim is anything other than someone with a grudge, why isn't there charges? There are charges. It's sex trafficking. There are charges. There's sex trafficking. That's why they are victims. What do you mean? Where are the charges? The charges is sex trafficking. They go on to say, why call them a victim? Was there a crime or just someone who was hating on Diddy? Yes, there was a crime, sex trafficking. And that's why they are called victims. And this is a sex trafficking RICO criminal operation. Again, Diddy's team is ramped up. And Judge Submarinian, by moving this to Monday, gave Diddy's team more time to do the work of the devil. That said, people are saying hold tight and hold the good fight, because we do not know all the evidence that the prosecution has come up with. But they are saying that the prosecution has a lot of evidence. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.